Chosen one, in the unseen realm, at this exact hour, something has just shifted. This does not happen lightly. The Father, who has been seated through every storm of your life, has risen from his throne. And the reason he rose was not the world, not a generation, not an idea. The reason was you. He stood because what you have carried in silence reached the place where silence is finally answered. What he carries in his hand is not a verdict. It is a crown. The kind of crown that does not flatter your circumstances, but reveals your origin. The kind that is not placed on a head, it identifies the head. And the head it has been walking toward longer than you have been alive in this body is yours. The voice inside you that whispers, "This cannot be about me." That voice is the lie. Heirs do not earn the crown. They are recognized when the king recognizes them. Tonight, the king has recognized you. What you have been waiting for has stopped waiting for you. The motion is real. The throne has stood up, and what is moving toward you. Wherever you are right now, whatever room you are sitting in, whatever light is touching the walls around you, whatever sounds belong to this exact hour of your day, something else is also present with you, something that has been waiting for the moment. Your spirit grew quiet enough to recognize it. The hour you are inside is not a regular hour. It has a different weight. And the version of you that is hearing these words is not the version of you that began this day. There is a part of you deep beneath the surface of how you have been moving through your life that is already standing still, already listening, already preparing for what is being delivered. I want to talk to that part of you. The part that has been quietly carrying a question you have not said out loud, not even to yourself in private. The question that lives underneath all the other questions of your life. The question that goes, has any of this been seen? Has any of the silent obedience mattered? Has heaven been paying attention while I was holding everything together with no one to help me hold it? Listen to me. The reason that question has lived so deep inside you is not because you are too small to be seen. It is because what is happening to you right now is too sacred to be confirmed by ordinary voices. There are signs that have been showing up in your life that you may not yet have fully understood. Signs that what you are walking through is not random. Signs that you are being prepared for the very moment that has just arrived in heaven. There is a sign that comes as emotional weather you cannot explain. Waves of feeling worthy, then waves of feeling unworthy, then peace, then ache, then a strange certainty you cannot put words to, all in the same week, sometimes in the same hour. That weather is not instability. That weather is a soul being recalibrated for a different kind of carrying. There is a sign that comes as quiet detachment from environments that once felt like home. Conversations that used to fill you now drain you. Spaces that used to fit you now feel a size too small. People who never understood you, and never will, slowly losing their grip on your attention. That detachment is not coldness. That detachment is a vessel being emptied to receive what cannot fit alongside what no longer belongs. There is a sign that comes as numbers. The same numbers in the same shapes, repeating across hours and days that should not be connected. The number 1 appearing where beginnings live, the number 5 appearing where grace lives, the number 7 appearing where completion lives. These numbers are not coincidence. These numbers are the unseen realm putting its signature on the moments it does not want you to miss. And there is a sign that comes as dreams. Vivid, waking strength dreams. Of climbing stairs you have never walked. Of being summoned into rooms with high ceilings. Of objects being placed into your hands by figures you do not know but who clearly know you. These dreams are not random brain activity. These dreams are rehearsals. Heaven rehearsing with your spirit what is about to be confirmed in your waking life. Before I take you any deeper into why these signs are appearing in your life, and why specifically tonight, I want to say this directly. What is unfolding in this hour is not a short message. It is a sequence. And the sequence requires you to stay with me through it. By the time we close, you will have walked through 3 layers of what the Father has actually done on your behalf. You will know the original meaning of what a crown is, according to language older than English. You will see what was hidden inside the years you thought were wasted. And before this ends, there will be a declaration spoken over your life. A declaration that has been waiting for the head it identifies. Stay. The hour was set apart for this. Now let me show you the first thing that has to land for everything else to make sense. In the older scriptures, before language was written down on paper, there is a word for calling, and the word is not what most modern translations have given us. The word is kra. Kra does not simply mean to speak someone's name. Kra means to summon, to call across a distance, to physically rise and call out the name of the one you have chosen. In the original meaning, the one who calls does not stay seated. The one who calls stands. Hold that for a moment. Because tonight, what is being said to you about your life is not just that God has called you. It is that God has stood up to call you. The standing is the call, and the call is your name. There is a story embedded in the oldest writings that mirrors this. Exactly. And the story has not stopped playing out across generations. The story is of a young man named David. The prophet Samuel has been sent to a small house belonging to a man named Jesse, sent to anoint a king. Jesse parades his sons before Samuel one by one. The strong one, the tall one, the accomplished ones, the visible ones. Samuel looks at each, and the Spirit says no to each single one. Samuel finally turns to Jesse and asks the question that changes everything. He asks, "Are these all the sons you have?" And Jesse answers in a tone that carries every overlooked moment of every chosen one across history. "There is yet the youngest, but he keeps the sheep." He was not even called to dinner. He was not even considered worth presenting. He was in the field, hidden, doing the work. No one was watching, carrying what no one was helping him carry, and he was the one God had risen to choose. Hear me clearly. Your obscurity has been confused with absence from divine attention. It has not been absence. It has been preparation. The years you spent in the field were not the years you were forgotten. They were the years you were being formed, for the head that wears the crown. The same heaven that overlooked the visible sons in front of Samuel has been refusing every false elevation for your life, because what was approaching you was not a position. What was approaching you was a coronation. If what you are hearing right now is landing somewhere real in you, I want to pause for just a moment and ask you to do something small. Hit the like button right now. It is a small motion, but when the meaning behind it is real, even small motions carry weight. And if you have not yet subscribed, this is the moment to do it. More is being prepared for you. And you do not want to miss what comes next. Now stay with me, because what I am about to show you goes even deeper than what you have already heard. Notice that you are still here. Notice that something inside you has decided to stay through these opening minutes. Even though the noise of your life is still waiting for you on the other side of this, that choice to stay is not small. That choice is the same disposition that kept David in the field when no one was watching. The disposition of a chosen one is not the disposition of someone who chases. It is the disposition of someone who stays. Because what is being prepared in your life in this hour was not invented for this hour. It was named in a script older than any translation you have ever held. There is a word for crown in the oldest scriptures, and the word is one almost no one carries the full meaning of anymore. The word is kether. Kether does not mean ornament. Kether does not mean accessory. Kether does not even mean the metal circle you are picturing in your imagination right now. Kether means something that surrounds, something that encompasses, something that names the head it touches. Listen to that distinction because it changes everything. A regular crown is placed onto a head. A kether is not placed. A kether identifies. The kether does not make the head royal. The kether reveals what the head already was. And in the realm above, the Father has just stood up from the throne with a kether in his hand, which means what he is bringing to you is not a status upgrade. It is a recognition of what you have always been beneath every layer of forgetting that the world placed over you. Hear this. You are crowned, not commissioned. You are not being given an assignment. You are being recognized as the heir who was always going to wear this. The head you are walking through life with is not the head of someone who needs to earn what is descending. The head you are walking through life with is the head the kether was always for. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetry. This is the original meaning of what is happening to you in language older than the languages we translate from. The Father did not rise because the time on a clock said it was time. He rose because the weight of what you have been carrying alone reached a threshold only the King can answer. He rose because no intermediary was qualified to hand the crown to the head it identifies. He rose because the recognition of an heir is the King's own work. Let me tell you about a woman whose story I have carried with me for a long time. She was 47 years old. She had spent the previous 11 years caring for an aging parent, a job no one applauded, a job no one filmed for the world to see, a job no one celebrated at the end of the year. 11 years of carrying, 11 years of silent obedience, and by year 10, she had stopped praying out loud because she had stopped believing that anyone in the unseen realm was still listening. One winter morning she woke before the sun came up. The room was still dark. The house was still quiet. And in that strange suspended hour between sleep and the day, words landed in her mind that did not belong to her own thinking. The words were, "You are not forgotten. You are being clothed in something only royalty wear." She did not know what to do with the words. She was not a woman who had visions. She was a woman who folded laundry and refilled prescriptions and remembered to lock the back door before bed. So she did what most chosen ones do when the unseen realm finally speaks. She wrote it down on a piece of paper, and she went on with her morning. 6 weeks later, a door she had assumed was permanently closed in her life opened. The how of it cannot be explained by ordinary cause and effect. There was a meeting that should not have taken place. A name spoken in a room she was not in. A decision made by a person who had no logical reason to remember her. Within 90 days, she was in a season of her life that the previous 11 years had been quietly shaping her for. She told me, "I thought I was being forgotten. I was being prepared." Hold what I just told you, because that woman is not the exception. That woman is the pattern. Hidden has been confused with abandoned. Hidden has been confused with overlooked. Hidden has been confused with not yet chosen. But hidden, in the language of heaven, has always meant anointed. The hiding is the anointing. The years you cannot point to are the years that were being weighed in the balance. There is another story embedded in the same scriptures that confirms this. A story most people remember without remembering its real beginning. The story is of a young woman named Esther. By the time her name appears in the famous moments of her life, she is already a queen. But that is not where her story begins. It begins as an orphan. Both parents gone, raised by a relative. No royal blood that anyone could trace. No connections that elevated her. No stage on which her gift was visible to the world. And then, without any explanation that modern logic can satisfy, she is brought into a palace, selected, recognized, crowned. The story does not say she earned her way there. The story says she was chosen, and the timing of her crowning was not arbitrary. The timing of her crowning was the precise hour required for what only her position would later be able to accomplish. The hidden chosen one does not get crowned because they finally became impressive enough to be seen. The hidden chosen one gets crowned because the hour required the head that wears this particular crown. And that head was always going to be theirs. You are seen, not chosen at random. The selection happening on your behalf in the unseen realm right now is not selection by lottery. It is selection by recognition. The Father did not look across the human family in this hour and decide on a whim. He looked across the human family and arrived at the head he had been engraving the kether for, since before you were a thought in your mother's body. What is approaching you tonight is not approaching you alone. The throne that has just risen for you did not rise inside an empty room. The throne rose inside a hall, and the hall is full. I want you to picture what is true in the unseen realm at this exact moment. There is a vastness of space that no architecture on earth could hold. Light older than stars, lining every wall. And along those walls, witness after witness after witness, figures whose names you do not yet know, but who have known your name longer than you have been alive in this body. Some of them are the lineage you cannot remember. Some of them are the heaven-side advocates who have been making your case in courts you will never see in this lifetime. Some of them are the very witnesses who watched you walk through every season you assumed no one was watching. And every one of them is on their feet, because the king is on his feet. The standing of the throne triggered the standing of the witnesses. The Father did not rise quietly into a sleeping room. The Father rose and the entire hall responded, which means the moment that is being conferred on your life is not a private moment. It is a witnessed moment. The unseen realm is on its feet for what is being delivered to you. David in the field, Esther in obscurity, Joseph in a pit, then a prison, then a palace. Every one of them, without exception, had a season where the unseen realm was filling up with witnesses while the visible realm was treating them like they were not even in the room. The witnesses gathered first. The recognition came second. The crowning came third. That is the order. That has always been the order. You are heir, not refugee. Not someone who is hoping to be allowed into the room. Someone whose absence the room has been waiting on. Not someone who is trying to belong. Someone whose belonging is what completes the whole. Now I have to name something that is going to rise up inside you the moment this revelation tries to land. Because if I do not name it, it will steal the recognition you came here for. There is a voice that lives inside chosen ones. It has been there a long time. It has been trained by every overlooked moment of your life, by every person who did not see you, by every season that ended without the breakthrough you prayed for. And the voice says, if I claim this, who am I betraying? If I rise, who am I leaving behind? If I receive this crown, do I become someone I cannot recognize in the mirror? I want you to listen to me very carefully. That voice is not your conscience. That voice is the wound speaking in the language it has spoken for years. It is trained by every dimming the world placed on you before you knew it was being placed. It is the imposter's whisper dressed up as humility, dressed up as loyalty, dressed up as concern for the people you love. But the truth is the opposite of what the voice is telling you. You are permitted to be witnessed. You are permitted to be elevated. You are permitted to wear what was woven for you before you arrived in this body. Receiving the crown is not a betrayal of the people who love you. Refusing the crown is, because the version of you that is fully crowned is the version of you the people who love you have been quietly waiting to meet. You are royal, not striving. The frequency you have been operating in for most of your adult life. The frequency of trying, of proving, of working hard enough to finally be enough. That frequency was never your native frequency. That frequency was assigned to you by a world that benefits from chosen ones operating below their own recognition. The frequency you were born in is older than striving. The frequency you were born in is the frequency of an heir who already belongs to what is being given. Take a breath here with me for just a moment. If you have been walking through this hour and something inside you has been quietly saying yes, I want to ask you to do two things right now before we go into the deepest part of this revelation. First, if this has landed somewhere real in you, hit the like button. Second, drop a comment below with the word crowned. Not because it changes what has already been declared over you in the unseen realm, but because your spirit confirming out loud what was spoken in heaven is its own kind of seal. Do that now, and then stay, because what is coming next is the deepest layer of this entire hour, and you do not want to miss it. God rose from his throne tonight because of you. You have been carrying weight in silence, unseen by the world, but never unseen by heaven. The signs in your life, the emotional shifts, the detachment, the numbers, the dreams, are not random. They are preparation. There is an ancient word for crown kether. It does not place royalty on a head. It reveals what the head already was. And there is an ancient word for calling kra. It means the one who calls must first stand up tonight. God stood up to call your name. You are not being given something new. You are being recognized for what you have always been. The years you thought were wasted were never wasted. They were a witness ceremony. David was in the field. Esther was an orphan. Joseph was in a pit. Every chosen one had a hidden season, and heaven was filling with witnesses the entire time. The deepest truth of this hour is this: you were not crowned because God stood up tonight. God stood up because you have always been crowned. The crown does not descend on a head still gripping what dimmed it. Open your hands. Let the gripping go. Speak this daily, whichever truth your spirit needs most. You are crowned, not commissioned. You are seen, not chosen at random. You are heir, not refugee. You are royal, not striving. You are witnessed, not invisible. What was declared in this hour is sealed. Walk into the rest of your day knowing what has always been true about your head.